Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you guys decided to tune in for today's video. As you guys can see from the title of this video is going to be a little bit more serious than the other videos that I have on my channel. Not to say that salvation isn't a serious thing, but this is something that's very real and something that a lot of us are dealing with, something that's much more prevalent in today's generation, something that's much more diagnosed. And so I just thought it was going to be really important for us to talk about this. And before I start today's video, I just want to start with this claim. This is a video that I've been putting off since last year. I checked when I first started making notes and completed my notes for this video, and that was in August of 2017, and it's something that I've been putting off for so long because it's something that's really hard for me to talk about. And I just want you to know that if you're going through any mental illness, whether it be depression, bipolar disease, anxiety, or anything of the like, that you are loved and that I love you and that I'm here for you. If no one else is, I'm here for you, even if the whole world is on your side. Not only do I love you, but God loves you too. And if you are feeling the slightest bit of suicidal, you can contact me in any way, shape, or form. You can contact the people around you, the people in your life. I promise you that people do care. And if those people fail you as well, if I fail you, then please call the suicide prevention hotline. The number will be on the screen because your life matters. Your life is worth living, and I promise you that you are loved and that there are people here for you. And we want to see you win. We want to see you succeed. I'm on your side. For today's video, I wanted to talk about mental illness. And I just think that there's a lot of taboo in the church when it comes to talking about mental illness. And I just want to address those things, in my opinion, from my understanding of the Bible, and kind of just make this quick. I also don't want this to be a long video. I just want people to know that they're loved. That's like the short story, that you're loved and that your life is worth living and that we want you here and we want to see you win, and that there are people like myself who are on your side, who are rooting for you and who want to see you grow and who want to see you blossom. So, okay, the story that I wanted to analyze and the story that I wanted to go deepest into is the story of when Jesus was walking on water. Now this can be found in either Matthew 14, Mark 6, or John 6. It's in the Gospels, and as you know, the Gospels often repeat themselves. And I think that I'm going to zoom in most on the story in Matthew 14 because Matthew is the only record that includes Peter's part in Jesus walking on the water. So the story goes that Jesus had just finished feeding a large group of people, and he told the disciples, okay, why don't you guys go ahead and get going on your boat and I will catch up with you guys. So Jesus kind of dismissed the people, he let them all go, and then he went on the mountain to go pray by himself. And after some time, he noticed how far along the disciples had gotten, and he also noticed that the water was a little bit rocky and that, the waves were starting to get a little bit intense. So Jesus decided to go catch up with them, and how he did that was by walking on water. So he was walking, he was approaching the boat, and as he was getting closer, the disciples noticed him, and they're like, oh my gosh, there's a ghost coming, what are we gonna do? And Jesus was like, hey, chill out, be still, it is me, do not be afraid, I am here. And so they were like, okay, and after realizing who it was, they willingly accepted him on the boat. But before that, in the story, so that's like the short story, but in Matthew goes as far as to say it as when Jesus said, hey, chill out, it's me, I'm here, be still. Peter says, well, Lord, if it's you, then call me out into the water to walk with you. And Jesus was like, all right, come. So Peter gets off the boat and he comes on the water, he starts walking towards Jesus. And the moment that he realized that he was walking on water, he started freaking out and he began to sink. And then he was like, Lord, help me, or something like that. He exclaimed, and Jesus reached out his hand to him and he said, why did you doubt me? And then after that, they both walked onto the boat, and the storm subsided, and they were able to reach their destination peacefully without any more trouble from the sea. And I thought that this story was going to be the best story to talk about in this context because deals a lot with the mental games that we go through in our mind, where we're doubting Jesus, we're doubting whether or not he's going to be there for us, we're doubting whether or not he's going to be able to pick us up, we're doubting whether he's even there to begin with. And it's like when Jesus was walking on the water, he appeared to them as a ghost. He seemed to be a ghost to them, and it's like for us, it's like Jesus is right there, and he's always been right there behind us. And every time he tries to come close, we get freaked out because we think, oh, it's a ghost, or, well, not a ghost, but we just think, oh, this is not real, this is just a coincidence, this is that, and we make up all sorts of excuses to kind of make us think that, oh no, it's not actually Jesus, when in reality, it's him. He's tapping on our shoulders, he's trying to bring us comfort, he's trying to relieve us of the stress that we're going through. And then when he tries to like kind of come on board, and he's like, hey, just accept me into your heart, like I want to be here for you, I want to carry you, I want to make you stronger, I want to be your source of strength, I want to be your joy. Sometimes we struggle with that because it's like there's no one who's ever wanted to do that for me, there's no one who's ever wanted to be that for me. And so in those moments we begin to question God, like Peter did, and we say, well, if it's really you, God, prove it, prove yourself to me by taking me this mile, taking me this distance, showing me this taking me somewhere where I never thought that I could go. And it's the same way with Peter when he said, Lord, if it really is you, then call me out into the water. So of course, Jesus loves us so much. The love that he has for us is a love that we can never fully understand. Like, I don't think it's easy for us to fully grasp the idea of grace and the idea that his love saved us. He carried sin on his shoulders, and he bore all the weight of the world on his shoulders just for us. He died on the cross of Calvary just for us, so that we might live, so that we might have life. And that love is a love that can't be replicated. It's a love that can't be defeated. It's a love that is so amazing, and this is the same love that he has for us. So even when we give him a hard time and we tell him to prove himself, he's gonna do it. And why does he do it? Because his love for us far outweighs any challenge that we could pose. And so he's gonna call us, and we say, okay, Father, prove yourself to us. And he's like, okay, fine, I'll do this for you, just so that you know that I love you this much. And it's like, okay, as we see him carrying us in that direction that we asked him to take us, it's like sometimes we get shocked, sometimes we're confused, because it's like, dang, things are actually working out for my good. And because of that, sometimes we fall into the habit of self-sabotage, or we just fall into this trance of disbelief, in which case we begin to sink because we think, oh, there's no way that this is actually going to happen for me, or oh, I'm not gonna continue on this path because this is not reality, this isn't actually happening, there's no way that I could actually be happy at this point in my life. And it's in those moments that we begin to cry out like, God, I thought you said that you were gonna carry me through. And he's like, I told you that I was right here. I've been right here in front of you this entire time. All you had to do was believe. All you had to do was trust. All you had to do was keep on going. And it's like he reaches out his hand to us and he lifts us up. And this story is just, it's just so real, because Jesus is there for us from the beginning. He's been there from the beginning of time, and he wants us to know that he loves us and that he will always be there to pick us up when we need him. And another thing that's really important is for us, so once we've given Jesus that opportunity to pick us up, we have to remember that it's our faith that heals us. This is something that Jesus repeated several times throughout the gospel, that when people were calling out to him, when people were touching him at the hem of his garment, when people were asking him for healing, for restoration, that all they needed to have was faith. And every time someone believed that Jesus would make them whole, every time someone had faith enough to have Jesus heal them, he said, your faith has healed you. And for us, that means that all we have to do is believe. We really just have to trust that he can make us whole. We have to trust that he can renew us. And in renewing us, we can be made whole. We can find joy again. We can be at peace. And I just want you guys to know that if you're struggling with mental illness, that he is here for us. And in faith, we can be made whole. We just have to believe. We just have to trust that his plans for us are greater than any plans that we could have for ourselves, and that he loves us. And sometimes the way that he moves just doesn't make sense to us, but that's because his ways are higher. Like it says in Isaiah 55, his ways are higher, his ways are unknown, and we can't fully know the plans that the Lord has for us, but I promise you that the plans that he has for us are for good and are not of evil, and they're to prosper us. And he loves you, and he wants to see you win. He's rooting for you. He's on your side. Just continue to confide in him and continue to seek him, because he will take you out of the storm that you're in. You are loved. You are so loved. You are so loved, and it's just not easy when the people around you are telling you that they feel like giving up because of whatever reason, that the depression, the anxiety, the bipolar disease, that it's just tearing them down. But I promise you that you will get through it, that these storms are only temporary, and that the demons that are inside you, that are fighting you, that you can fight harder. This battle can be won. The victory is already ours. Just continue to fight and keep faith that He will carry you through. I promise you that this will end. Well, I guess that's the end of today's video. I really hope that these words were able to reach somebody today, just so that you know that you are loved, and that in keeping faith and maintaining your faith, that you will see the end of these days, that the battle is already won and the victory is already yours, and you will overcome. Don't let the plans of the enemy continue to sink you down, because victory is yours. You are a son or a daughter of the kingdom. The Lord is your shepherd, you shall not want. Continue to hide yourself in the Lord so that you might find joy. I promise you, I'm here for you. There are people who are here for you. There are people who love you, who will encourage you in this fight, who will pray for you. I will pray for you if you need this prayer. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video so that other people can see it. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.